In our current day and age of social media and YouTube, and the irony of me saying this as I create a YouTube video to inspire you, it's easy to compare and it's easy to feel discontent with your home, and I want to chat a little bit about that today. I feel like this conversation can go one of two ways because I've seen some posts on social media saying normalize a normal house, normalize like an unaesthetic house. And while I agree with that on principle, I think we don't want to go too far that way to say that creating beauty around us doesn't matter, because I do think that humans are meant to create. And especially homemakers, this is something that I guess I can speak for myself, but I love doing. I love making my environment beautiful. I want to make it a place that we enjoy being, which isn't just about the physical beauty. That obviously has to do with a lot more than that, but it is part of it. And so while I think it's perfectly acceptable to push kind of the idea of normalizing what your home looks like, I think the bigger push should just be on being content. So being content with what your home is right now, but also knowing that creating beauty is totally okay. And there's a way to go about it that is going to look different for each homemaker depending on your resources, your financial situation, the home itself, your abilities to fix things up yourself, your skill level. And so it's going to look different for everybody, but I think it's totally okay to want to make your environment beautiful. It's just that we're not going to do things that we shouldn't do to get that result, if that makes sense. So one thing that I have been doing, or I guess that I did in this video, I haven't really done it before, but is to try and bring the outside in a little bit more. We currently live in town, although I'm kind of like I call it a homestead light wannabe, because I don't really have dreams to raise my own animals entirely. I don't necessarily want to be fully self-sufficient, but I am interested in a more simple life. I'd love to have a garden and chickens, maybe a cow. I don't know. That's a lot more work, but a garden and chickens for sure. And one element of just kind of living a simpler life is to just bring the outdoors in. And so we don't have any fresh blooms yet, but I brought in some dried ones, and then the other little flowers there were actually my Valentine's flowers that I dried. And I've just been putting them around my house, and I really like the beauty that it brings. This would probably be something that would be really beautiful in the fall as well. And as we are entering into spring, I would love to get some fresh ones. But I'm just making do with what I currently have and enjoying how it turned out. So this is just a quick little snapshot of a recent thrift haul. I guess it's really small. It's not even really a haul, but I found these two baskets. One of them I hung up on the wall, and one I am using for avocados in our fridge. And then I found this wreath and this pitcher. This is a Pfaltzgraff pitcher, and the wreath is going in our bedroom. I have been looking for a wreath for this wall for a very, very long time. I would always look anytime I went to Hobby Lobby or anywhere else. I would always look, but the small wreaths are usually at least $10. And I don't know, at some point, if I hadn't found anything long enough, I probably would have just gotten one at some point. But I've just been thrifting enough now that it's almost like I'm like, oh, I know I can get this for way cheaper if I'm just a little more patient. Obviously, at some point, that kind of runs out, but I ended up finding one. This one was $2.99 at Goodwill, and I absolutely love how it turned out. So the last thing I have to do on this wall is add a picture in that oval frame that you see there. I think I'm going to do a family picture on that one. So that'll be it for this wall. It's been a long time coming, but it's one of those things that it's so worth it when you wait and practice that contentment, and then when you find the perfect piece, it just completes it and it makes it all that much more satisfying. So I just want to encourage you, if your home doesn't totally look exactly as you want it to, honestly, it probably never will. It's just we're never going to reach perfection, and even if we think it's exactly how we want it to look, then we come across some other image or idea, or we change our minds on something, and then we're not content with what we've already done, and then we want to change it again. So I just think it's an ongoing thing, but I just want to encourage you that my home is definitely not exactly how I want it to be, but when I think back to when I first started staying home, I have put a lot into it and it has come a long way, and I have to remind myself of that in the moments when I do feel a little bit discontent, because it happens to all of us. And I just have to remember the beauty that I have been creating and know that it's worth it to be patient. It's worth it to put your own spin on things and to take the time that it takes to really do that and make it your own.